So you were talking a lot about, Beth was talking about the families, Mary talked about the families, and now we're going to hear from a mom who's been really vocal over the years about what her family's been going through, and you know, this is really heartfelt. And Marci Scher joins us now.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How did it feel listening to all of this?
Everything hit home. Everything, every single one of them mentioned in one way or another has hit my family in the last 4 or 5 years.
So tell us about your home and your family.
So I have boy-girl twins who, my daughter is 14 and my son is forever 13. He had a very rare genetic disease that is a combination of 2 rare diseases. So the easiest way to explain his disease is like it's a childhood ALS. So we watched him go from a funky little toddler running around the house to a teenager who was bedbound, trached, and vented, and 100% dependent care.
And we have some pictures. 2003, I think it says
they
there.
were 6 months old.
Aww.
Yeah.
So how quickly did the symptoms show up?
Well, he had symptoms at birth, but we didn't know what was going on at that point. We really started to see a decline in his health when he was 6 years old. And that was the beginning of our journey to really find out what was going on.
We want to obviously talk about your hospice experience and all of that. But before we do, Colin, is there any way we can get another picture of Ian behind us? I just would imagine that as a mom, the one thing you never want is for your child to be forgotten.
Never.
Right. And so there's Ian, and I guess he's at that point in a wheelchair, right? Tell us about him. What's his personality? What's his personality like?
As you can see, the first row all laughing would be my family and the Gilchrist team who knew Ian quite well. He was all boy, and he went from an all boy toddler to an all boy teenager. He still rolled his eyes. He still made his thoughts and his wants known. But he was a very loving and caring soul. His main concern as his disease progressed was what was going to happen to Mommy, Daddy, and Becca. He wanted to know that we were going to be okay. And I think it wasn't until the very end that he truly believed we would be, and that was what helped him go.
Take you back in time just a little bit. When did you go to Gilchrist Kids?
I think we first heard about Gilchrist in 2010 or 11.
Ian was how old?
6, 7, 8. I actually have a cousin who's a pediatric geneticist and worked at University of Maryland. And Gilchrist Kids actually went and did a presentation there. And she contacted me and said, this may be great for you for palliative care.
Once Gilchrist came on the scene and became involved with your family, how did that change things?
Any questions we had, we went through the Gilchrist team and they got the answers or found out what we needed instead of us having to drag Ian out of the house. He liked his 4 walls and didn't like to go out very often.
So you had a point person, which made your life, I'm sure,
it made it
infinitely easier.
It did. It did. Ordered all the meds for us, knew what was going on, called at any point in time in the middle of the night, and they were there.
Are you at a point as a parent, because Ian hasn't really been gone that long,
right,
that you feel you can talk with other parents who are maybe new to a situation or new to Gilchrist Kids? Are you doing that kind of a role? I know you've been blogging.
I have been blogging. I do want to find a role as far as helping to educate and make others comfortable with the whole pediatric hospice world, because it doesn't have to be scary. It just gave us such peace and hope throughout the whole entire process. And more importantly, it gave Ian that peace and hope. Everybody on the team found a way to communicate with him, to get his needs out, and to figure out what he needed. And we, a lot of times, followed his lead. You had asked, I believe, Beth, about do kids really know what's happening to them? In our situation, 110%. He knew what was going on, when it was going on, and Beth was able to help him articulate what he wanted, and that helped us to be able to make some of the decisions that we made throughout the process.
How do people find your blog?
You can either look up VRK1, which was his mutation. You can search Ian Scher, which I believe it comes up that way. Or my blog is it's mlsbks0422.blogspot.com.